All right, let's get right into it. Look, if you came here for some fluffy, feel-good wellness advice, you're in the wrong place. This is not that. What we're diving into today is a raw, no-nonsense guide to taking back your power from a system that frankly wants you sick, stressed out, and hooked on their solutions.
And that quote, I mean, it just says it all, right? This is for everyone who's just done. Done with being told to just be positive when life is kicking you in the teeth. It's for anyone who feels like they're stuck on that hamster wheel and is finally pissed off enough to find a way to jump off. So let's get real. The story behind all this, it wasn't cooked up in some Zen yoga retreat. Nope. It was forged in pure frustration, a legit near-death experience, and this burning mission to just share the raw truth, the stuff that actually helps you take back control of your own body and, your own mind.
See, to really understand the how-to part of this, you've got to understand the why. You have to get the guy who came up with it, because this isn't some academic theory. It's a path that was carved out of grief, a stint in the Marines, and one single insane moment that pretty much broke his reality and then put it all back together again.
So check out this timeline. It kind of maps it all out. It starts out, relatable enough. He loses his grandfather when he's 16, has this weird, calming vision he doesn't tell anyone about for years. Then, boom, drops out of college to join the Marines, as infantry, no less. Totally against what his dad wanted. But here's the kicker. The real turning point comes after his service. Get this. A single weed gummy sends him into a full-blown near-death experience. We're talking floating above his own body, the whole 9 yards. And that terrifying moment was the spark. It's what sent him spiraling down the rabbit hole, discovering guys like Wim Hof, breathing techniques, and what our bodies are actually capable of.
All right, so after an experience like that, what do you do? Well, his first big breakthrough wasn't some fancy supplement or a guru on a mountaintop. It was something way, way simpler, something almost primal, a direct connection to the earth. It's a concept called grounding, or sometimes you'll hear it called earthing. And the idea is just dead simple. You physically connect your body to the earth's natural electric charge. That's it. For a guy who came from the military, where the solution to everything was a bag of pills, this was a total game changer, a way to literally reset his body's internal frequency without needing a single prescription.
And this really gets to the heart of the problem. Think about it. Our ancestors, they were always connected to the earth, lived their whole lives in sync with its natural rhythms. But us, we're totally disconnected. We're insulated. And the author points the finger at one thing he calls the greatest and worst invention ever: the rubber-soled shoe. That simple piece of footwear is what cut us off from this vital, natural energy source.
Okay, so you might be thinking, does this stuff actually work? Well, here's some hard data for you. The author was dealing with some serious sleep issues, classic veteran stuff. We're talking maybe 2-3 hours a night. His sleep score was hovering in the 40s. Then, after just one single night on a grounding mat, his score rocketed up into the 80s. The 80s! He said he was out like a light and for the first time in forever, woke up without pain. Now that is a result you can't ignore. So grounding was really just the first domino to fall. It was the key that unlocked this whole new understanding of just how connected all our body's systems are. So let's build on that. The next piece of the puzzle is what you might call the control panel for your entire body: your gut, your brain, and your breath. Just look at that number: 70 million Americans. That's how many are struggling with gut and GI issues. It's insane. And the author was right there with them, dealing with all sorts of problems he kind of joked were from his time overseas. But his fix wasn't another prescription. He got inspired by, of all people, the big wave surfer Laird Hamilton, and started looking into functional mushrooms. Stuff like lion's mane and cordyceps, things that have these amazing health benefits. You gotta love this quote, right? It's funny, but it's also the perfect bridge from the gut to the brain. We know for a fact now that there's a direct line, a gut-brain axis. The health of your gut massively impacts your mental state. If your gut's a mess, your mind is probably gonna be a mess too, no matter what else is going on in your life. So let's go a little deeper into the brain. The author gets really focused on the pineal gland. A lot of people call it the third eye. Now, we all know it makes melatonin, the stuff that helps you sleep. But here's where it gets wild. There's a theory that it might also be a factory for DMT. Yeah, that DMT, the super powerful compound that's linked to all those crazy near-death experiences. So the book asks this amazing question. What if we could learn to tap into that naturally? All right, so we've connected to the earth, we've started dialing in the gut and brain.
But that's just the foundation. According to the author, real bulletproof resilience, that's not something you find wrapped in a warm blanket. It's forged. It's built in the extremes, in the fire, and in the ice. So let's get into it. And look, this is not just some fad you see on Instagram. The benefits here are legit and powerful. On one side, you've got ice baths. They jack up your immune system, crush inflammation, and build some serious mental fortitude. On the other, you've got saunas. Great for heart health, muscle recovery, and just melting away stress. The whole point is to use these extremes to jolt your system awake, to shock it back to life and force it to get stronger. So how do you do it? It's all about the contrast therapy cycle. This is the ultimate mind-body reset. First, you get nice and warm in a sauna. Then, you plunge into an ice bath for 1 to 3 absolutely brutal minutes. And the secret weapon here is your breath. That's your control panel. It's how you tell your mind to override your body's instinct to panic. You repeat that cycle a couple of times, and the author swears you will feel like an absolute god. Unstoppable. Okay, so if this stuff is so powerful, grounding, breathwork, hot and cold, why isn't everybody doing it? Well, according to the book, it's because every good story needs a villain. And the villain here isn't one person, it's the whole system. A system that makes a whole lot of money by keeping you sick, stressed, and totally dependent on what they're selling. Get a load of this number. $1.2 trillion. That's not a typo. That's how big the global pharmaceutical market was back in 2021. And when an industry is worth that much money, you really have to stop and ask yourself a very serious question. Is the goal here really to make people healthy, or is it to make them repeat customers? And that's the billion, or I guess trillion-dollar question, isn't it? Healthcare or wealth care? The book makes a pretty compelling argument that the system is set up for wealth care, not healthcare. Because think about it, it's built on managing your symptoms, not fixing the root cause. Why? Because a healthy person, a cured person, well, they're not a very good customer, are they? I mean, this is basically the playbook, right? It's a cycle of dependence. First, they give you a pill for your problem. Great. But then, that pill has side effects. So what happens? They give you another pill for the side effects. And just like that, you're a lifelong, profitable patient. It's a business model that's all about ignoring the root causes and just selling you the idea of happiness in a bottle. Okay, so that's the bad news. That's the villain. But enough about the problem, right? Let's talk about the solution. How do you fight back? The author lays out a super simple, totally practical daily routine that he calls your daily battle plan. This is how you break that cycle and take back control. And here it is, the morning offensive. It's just 4 simple steps. That's it. It's how you win the day before the world even has a chance to mess with you. Step 1, hydrate with some water and a little pinch of sea salt. 2, 5 minutes, just 5, of focused breath work to get your nervous system in check. 3, set your intention for the day. He uses something called the 3-6-9 method. And 4, take your essential supplements. See, this isn't some crazy 3-hour morning routine. It's a quick surgical strike to get your mind and body ready to win. And honestly, this might be the most important takeaway of the whole thing. It's not about trying to be perfect. It's not about overhauling your entire life overnight. That never works. It's about small, impactful changes that create a ripple effect. Consistency with a few simple habits is so much more powerful than trying to do everything at once and then burning out in a week. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. So we're going to end on this quote, which just hits so hard. Don't hope for better. Just be better. And that's really what this is all about. It's a call to action. It's about stopping the waiting game, stop hoping for things to get better on their own. It's about taking ownership, putting in the work, and making the active choice every single day to just be better, to build a stronger, healthier you. So I'll leave you with that. The only real question left is, are you ready?